It's Jessica. Welcome and welcome back to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel / podcast where I discuss all things style, wellness, pop culture, and whatever else comes up from week to week. Let's kick things off as per usual with our fashion segment. I have a little update for y'all. We have gotten week 1 of the new job down, and we are switching gears completely when it comes to the work fashions. Now, to be very clear, I am still team overdressed within reason. I do not believe, personally for me, it is not in my wheelhouse of joy to be in a top tier level of drag at noon on a Tuesday. Now, RuPaul says you're born naked, everything else is drag. Again, there are levels, right? So for me, at noon on a Tuesday, I'm gonna have a full beat, but I'm not gonna be double lashed up with a red lip at noon on a Tuesday unless the function calls for it, right? And we can get very, sociological, anthropological about dress codes and all that stuff at a later time. But for me and for my comfort, I don't want to go into this office where I have read the room, a lost art. Reading the room is a lost art. And I can see that everybody is dressed very business casual, but think the most drab version of that. So everything is navy, khaki. I would say earth tones, but I don't even think I done seen a little olive green in there. Like, it's casual, business casual. So my challenge is to maintain a sense of identity as an aspiring drag queen, right? Like, I need a little zhuzh to get through the day, but I also don't want to feel out of place in this new office. I also don't want, this is such a loaded thing to say, and I hope that y'all can decipher the nuance of what I'm saying here. I don't want to invite any attention that I can't handle without resorting to violence. Does that make sense? So I want to be casual, but I want to be chic, and I have to add a little bit of flair. I need like 10 pieces of flair, you know what I'm saying? So that I can also feel like myself. That's what it means to work in America, period. We don't get to go into shared spaces like work, church, the grocery store, public spaces, being our full, authentic, complete selves. That's why our community is important. That's why your home is important. So we have to make certain compromises with ourselves to be versions of ourselves, to be able to do our job, shop, mingle, move about without the extra shit. Now, as a Black woman, some shit I'm not gonna be able to avoid. People have their preconceived notions about everybody. Some things, it's just gonna be what it is. I can't go out here worrying about everybody's perception of me, but in order to feel comfortable about my perception of myself, I have to find a way to blend. I got to find a new work identity, which I thought was going to be, I wanted to be androgynous. I wanted to have a little corporate goth, and I might still be able to throw that in there, but not in the ways that I thought I was going to be. Like, I don't want to go into this job being as like fabulous, as adventurous as I was in my last place where I was for a decade. It was also too, I feel like I earned the right in that place to dress that way because my work spoke for itself, like the way that I showed up and the way that I did my job. Because I did my job well, I could take liberties with my look. I'm not there yet at this place, so that's the update on my personal fashion journey. On a larger scale, the first Monday in May, aka Met Gala Monday, is coming up, or by the time y'all watch this, it will have happened. So this is my plug for you to circle back at a later time. Courtney, aka None of My Friends Watch Anime, friend of the pod, friend of the channel, we are gonna do a collaborative situation where we're gonna break down the red carpet, talk about the things that we liked, the things that we loved. I am not a content creator that wants to talk about fashions that I don't love or think, or people that I just don't like to do that I made a video about that on my TikTok recently, but we'll get to that in the main portion of the show. I just don't like to publicly critique fashion. I would rather say the things that I like than the things that I don't. But Courtney and I are going to break down the red carpet and the theme and everything like that after the Met Gala. So circle back here for that. And I feel like I had a housekeeping note as well that has just escaped me, but maybe it'll come to me at a later time. So this episode, I just want to do like a quick catch up, how the new job is going. I have some thoughts on some of the tickety talk and Twitter things that have been going on in relation to Cowboy Carter. And I think that's going to be it for this episode. So circle back, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, I remember what I was going to say from the previous segment. Every year for the Met, I write an updated piece describing what the Met Gala is, recommended reading for this year's theme. So that article is going to be, the link to that article is going to be in the episode description for this video and on the podcast. So slide over to my Substack and check that out. You know, trying to plug everything that I can while I can think about it. So, okay, first week of the job, I am confronting the fact that I do not like being a novice. I don't like being new at things. I think something great but awful happened when I was little, that literature came to me very, very easily. I started reading and writing and storytelling, not lying, storytelling, very, very early in life. And I think that the way my brain was wired is I got so much positive feedback from being able to do that, that anything after that that didn't come as easily, I didn't want to do. I don't like how vulnerable it makes you feel to be new at something. So to be new at a job where it's really important to me to do well, not because of capitalism, but just for myself, it's just challenging. I don't like being the new person. I don't like being super, I don't like having to ask so many questions. I think also coming from a fashion background, it's almost like a cardinal rule. You don't ask questions that you can find the answer to on your own. So I hate not being able to figure something out on my own. So this is an exercise in humility and getting better at practicing. A huge part of why I stayed in my old job for so long, even though I was unhappy and wanted more money, is because the job was so easy. Like, it was so old hat. I knew the job so well. I knew the different personalities. I knew how to function. I knew how to finesse. So I know that at some point, after a period, I will feel that way about this job as well. But I have had to really like humble myself to be knowledgeable and to be teachable at the same time. And yeah, so far so good. That part is just an adjustment. Nobody's giving me a hard time or anything. And everyone has been, you know, corporate nice so far. So far so good. Cowboy Carter has begun. I can't say enough about Beyonce. I really can't. She makes me want to be a better woman. She makes me want to be a better woman. I will say also one of my favorite quotes came from the Homecoming movie, where she was like, people don't want to practice because they don't want to look silly. She was talking about me. That's me learning a new skill. I don't want people to see me learn a new skill. Maybe that's me being a Leo. Maybe that's me being egotistical. God and my therapist still working on me. But anywho, Cowboy Carter has begun. I don't know if I'm going to venture to this concert because, you know, the kind of unspoken rule when you start a new job, you don't ask for time off within like the first 3 months. The people who I want to go see the show with are not local. So me going to see the show would involve travel that I don't know if I'm ready to do. We'll see what happens. Said all that to say, I'm here for the fashions. I'm here for the looks. Namely, Beyonce's looks on the stage. One of the best parts of the Renaissance show was every week getting to see what new designer, what new concept, what new blah, 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 blah. I'm obsessed with everything so far. It looks like this is, I'm curious if for every act they're going to build upon each other. So like Renaissance was the first layer, and then Cowboy Carter is going to be like added into Renaissance, and then like the next layer, it'll be like a combo special of all of the eras. Very excited to see that. So it's really beautiful to have, you know, our parasocial relationship with Beyonce, to see where she announced her pregnancy on the VMAs that year, to watch the documentary where she talks to us about her fertility journey, and to see those children come to fruition, to you know, as a woman, like I have sisters and I have friends and women who I know, women who I care about, who have had struggles with fertility. And for some women, they can just accept the reality that, hey, sometimes you miscarry. Hey, sometimes you just can't biologically do it. And for other women, that's a really, really tough pill to swallow. And for some people, it takes years, and they endure a lot over that time. And I can't imagine her being such a publicly facing figure and enduring that as well, and also being an artist. It just sounds like so much. So to see her become a mom and to see those children on a stage with her is so full circle, and I think it's so beautiful. Here's what we need to talk about. As you know, I said before, I do not like to publicly comment on looks that I don't like. I don't think it's productive. I don't think that it's purposeful. As a person who has studied fashion, who has worked in fashion, who has written about fashion and beauty, who creates content around fashion, no matter how much knowledge I have over why I may be able to explain why I like a look, even from a scholarly perspective, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's subjective. I'm not going to convince you, and you're not going to convince me. And the thing is, just because I say, or someone says, I don't like that look, I don't think that she can dress, I didn't say that you was a bad person. I didn't say that you don't deserve to live or that you don't deserve to have rights. I said, why that shoe with that outfit? But it gets to a point where people because style is so personal, because whether you know it or not, you are saying something about yourself with your manner of dress. Like, it's a very personal thing. We can over personalize what someone's opinion of someone's look is. One of my favorite content creators, Tanika B, does not think that Cynthia Erivo can dress. And one of the points that she made was, we can't lose the plot to where we're so happy to see a Black woman in a certain space that we paint with a broad brush and say everything that person does is fabulous. You know, Tanika B, you know, it's like, she is a phenomenal performer. She did great in Wicked. We're rooting for her, but the fashions aren't there. She should be allowed to say that without being called anti-Black, without being considered a hater. It's like, you're just not allowed to publicly critique anyone, but especially a marginalized person, on their style, because then it becomes, why you policing them? It's just too much. It's too messy. It's too muddy. I don't do it. I don't want to get in the weeds and say, oh, I don't really like that. And then fans of that person start trying to dox me or start trying to say stuff about me, because then I'm going to be asking for your location. I want to know where you stay. I want to know where your mama stay, what school you went to, and where you like to hang out. I'm going to start asking questions to pull up, and I'm not putting myself in that position. Why would I do that? It's just, no, thank you. So I'm not going to publicly critique people's style. Said that to say, I think it's very brave for people who do. And I especially think it's very brave for people who are not known for their fashions, who are not known for their sartorial tastes, to comment on other people's. Because I'm going to tell you what people do in this day and age on social media. You say something about another person, particularly about how they look, the first thing that people do, they go look at your profile. They want to know what you look like. One of the worst that you don't want to be a mind you post on Twitter where you done said somebody's ugly, somebody can't dress, somebody is this, somebody is that. And then somebody responds to that with a picture of you, and the caption is just "mind you." You don't want that. I don't want that. I can't handle that kind of energy, which leads me to this. I recognize that there are some folks on social media, in media, in the world, that all they desire is attention. It doesn't matter what that attention is. As long as people are talking about them, they are satisfied. So even if to us, that person is getting drugged, to that person, they are going to parlay that attention into more attention, so they're satisfied. It doesn't matter if it's positive, negative, nuance, whatever. As long as people are talking about them, those people are happy. Those people are very shameless. Those people will even get in on the jokes about them. I'm not that girl. I'm too sensitive. I don't like it. I don't want it. So there are some folks who don't feel like the Cowboy Carter attendees looks this year are really giving what the Renaissance looks gave. That could be true, that could be false for a myriad of reasons. There's a lot of variables here. People ain't got money like that. The tickets took everything that people had. Everybody doesn't have the same taste as you, blah, 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 blah. My point is, you are not going to bring down a person who is shameless enough to critique other people's style while having questionable style of their own. You're not going to do it. There's no point. All you are doing is like a hydra. You cut off the head, 3 more grow big. You're not ever, you cannot, Meg said it. You can't shame the shameless. You're not going to run some people off of social media because all they want is to be talked about. And that just is what it is. So to wrap this up, I'm excited to see the Cowboy Carter footage because I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to have the time to go and see it. So I am enjoying watching it secondhand online. I'm enjoying seeing Beyonce's looks because that's what that's about. And I think it's very brave for people to publicly comment on other people's style when we're just not allowed to do that anymore. Like, fashion police just could not exist today because we are in a place where we do have to be more sensitive to things. We do have to be more sensitive to people. We do have to understand everything comes from somewhere. And to make those kinds of critiques about things that people can or cannot control. Like, I get it. Celebrities do put themselves in a position to be judged in a way that the average person doesn't. So that's also why, like, when people take pictures of people's outfits and post them online, I'm like, you are so brave. You're so brave. You're not using the buddy system. You're not using your buddy to send a picture and say, girl, what is this? You putting it online. That is so brave. That's so brave of you. I don't understand the choice. Rather, I understand, but I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I'm just not gonna do that. Everybody's doing their best. And I'm gonna tell you another phenomenon, something interesting that happens. If people perceive you to be a person who's really into style, they feel like you're judging them all the time. That may be true for some people. I'm just not. And again, maybe this is me being a Leo, maybe because like I'm so driven by my own aesthetics. I really don't care what other people wear like that. I genuinely don't. Like, it has to be so egregious. And I do have like some things that bother me. Like, I can't stand to see wrinkled clothes, right? But I don't know that person's life. Maybe it's a reason they clothes were wrinkled. Are they unhoused? Do they have, I don't know. But I feel like, again, I just don't know that it's purposeful. I don't really know what the point is. But I also, like, if I have a critique about a thing, I'm going to send it to a buddy. But I also don't want people to think that if they spend time with me, I'm judging them really harshly, because I'm not. I'll meet up with friends that have been my friends for so super long. And they'll be like, girl, I'm running late because I had to dress up for you. You really didn't. You really didn't. I spend time with you because I love you, because I value you. I'm literally never looking at, I only care about what I'm wearing or what my styling clients are wearing. I am not judging you the way you think I'm judging you. Even if you wear some shit that I'm like, girl, what is that? I'm not gonna tell you, and I don't care. If I've agreed to spend time with you, I know that you might show up how you show up. You ain't gotta put it on for me. You ain't gotta like kick it. I don't care like that. I remember one of the like upper management, like might have been like a VP at my old company was like, oh, I just feel like you just probably think I dress so horribly. I said, I'm only invested in the way I dress. I don't really care what you got on. I just don't. And I'm also like a lifelong student of fashion. So I like to observe. I like to dig into like, oh, I wonder why. Example, because this is harmless. I didn't take a picture of this person. They could walk in here right now and I'd be like, who are you and why you here? But there was a dude on the train the other day. And this man had on head to toe, quote unquote designer. And I'm so sorry, growing up on the south side of Atlanta, going to Old National Flea Market, I know counterfeit designer when I see counterfeit designer. Mind you, I'm in Soho all the time. I walk by 6th Avenue all the time. I see counterfeit stuff all the time. I know it when I see it. Now, to be fair, asterisk, pull over right here. To be fair, there are some very good counterfeits. There are like where you have to be an expert level person to be able to pull something apart and see like what part's fake was. It's some, and I will also say there are some designer things that when it comes to the logo, I don't care who got it on, I don't care how they wear it, it still looks fake because it's so obnoxious with the logo. If you know, you know. So I said that to say, this gentleman was in head to toe counterfeit designer. What sent me over the edge was he had on a pair of Louis Vuitton sneakers that the right and the left shoe were indistinguishable. I kept staring at it because I was just like, I wonder what they feel like. Are they comfortable? Where you get them from? At the factory where they made it, was it intentional to make the right and the left shoe indistinguishable? Is this something that's been done before? I wasn't looking at him like, oh, you look a fool. He did. But I was looking at him like, tell me everything. I want to know everything. Because bro was out here like he was stepping. Not stepping, stepping. And I want to know everything. I want to know where you bought this. I want to know your thought process when you bought it. I want to know why you were willing to pay. Because counterfeit isn't always cheap, to be fair. Sometimes counterfeit costs like, is significantly less than what the real thing is. But you could have just went and got something authentic and quality made that wasn't designer. So I want to know what you want us to know about you that you're willing to wear counterfeit. That's how my mind works. It's not a place of, I try to approach things with curiosity over conviction. I want to know everything. Do you look crazy? Absolutely. But I want to know why you like looking like that. Does that make sense? So I don't know that it's purposeful for me to go out into the world and say, oh, I don't get that. I want to ask the questions. I want to dig into it. I'm so curious because I think we can learn so much about culture and the economy and people by asking those questions, by being curious instead of just judging like, oh, I don't like it. Because there have been times, because I don't know everything, the world has existed for a long time. So there have been things that I've been like, oh, I hate that. There have been Met Gala looks that some of our faves have worn that I've been like, I didn't like it, I didn't get it, privately to my buddy, okay, or my buddies. I'm like, I don't get it, I don't like it. And then when I find out, oh, this was referencing. Now I still don't like the look, but I can appreciate, okay, I see what we did here. I still might not like it. I still might not be on board with the execution, but I see where we were going. And that to me is more productive, to ask the questions than to just be like, oh, you look a fool. And so often the people who are saying, oh, you look a fool, baby, the call is coming from inside the house. You too. And I know that it's fun to judge rich people because they have more privilege than us and it's just fun. We don't have guillotines to actually like kill the rich. So I think a lot of us just enjoy doing that, right? But yeah, and I get like celebrities are celebrities for the spectacle. Celebrities want the attention, whether it's good or bad, but I don't like to take away nobody's humanity. I'm not comfortable with it. So anywho, that's that. Um, everything that I'm watching, because we haven't caught up on TV in a while. While I have you, let me say this. We will be watching the new season of The Gilded Age as a family. If you're into The Gilded Age and you're new here, I did review. Y'all, did I review seasons 1 and 2? I did review seasons 1 and 2, but I need to add, I think, season 1 to the playlist. I figured it out. That's my administrative work. But if you are into The Gilded Age or you want to get into The Gilded Age, there's a whole bunch of reviews on this channel about it. We will be talking about the new season as a family. I am going to finish my House of the Dragon video so that we can be ready for the new season of that as well, because I know I owe y'all some stuff on that. I am also watching Hacks. I am watching the final season of Righteous Gemstones. And I just want to tell y'all as an aside, if you have never tried Bulletproof Coffee, this is not an ad. I discovered Bulletproof Coffee by mistake many, many moons ago. My fairy friend Meredith, who used to live a couple streets down from me, we were on a walk one day. She was like, let me get you a coffee. As we were walking, I was like, oh my God, I feel exhilarated. Like, what's happening? She was like, oh, it's the coffee. I was like, bitch, what you put in this? And tell me more. She's like, so it's like bulletproof coffee. It's like coffee with like, is it called MTC oil or coconut oil or something? But this was French buttered coffee that kind of acted as that. And don't give me the line because I'm not a scientist, okay? But there's something about it that it gives you. It's not just the caffeine, it's also kind of like a mental boost. So there is a company that makes bulletproof coffee that is like enhanced coffee. And I gotta tell y'all, I have never done any form of an upper. Y'all have already seen my video. I have never done booger sugar. I've never taken an Adderall. I don't play like that. Now I do believe in pharmaceuticals. I do believe that it is a blessing that if you have a thing and there is a tested and safe medication that you have been prescribed that will help the thing, take the thing. Okay, I am not anti-medicine at all, but I don't do uppers because I feel like it will overstimulate me. Said that to say, if the way that bulletproof coffee makes me feel is how people feel on an Addy, baby, I get it. Because I be feeling like I can take on the world. So I don't drink it every day. I drink it for days where, like today, where I have to do content, where I have like a particularly busy day at work and I know I need to like really be on. It's the best thing. I'm on it right now. But I said that to say, I be feeling like Baby Billy. I understand why Baby Billy was like, give me $2 million and an 8-ball. Y'all, I promise, I am not over here trying to be the drug podcast. This is so crazy. Like, that video went so viral, and people are in my comments just absolutely wilding out. I turned off my notifications about the comments because people was coming to me crazy. If y'all are not familiar, a couple of podcast episodes ago, I did a story time where I talked about like the first time that me and my former co-host saw people use booger sugar in real life. It was very jarring, and ever since then I realized that people are very casual about the use of it, and people will offer it to you super casually, and it's like, that's not a casual choice to make. Like, that's a lifestyle decision that I don't want to make. Like, I'm good over here. So there were people in the comments that was calling me broke. There were people in the comments that was calling me a loser. There were people in the comments that didn't get the joke and was just like, oh my God, are you a recovering drug addict? And I was like, do I look like I was left out for bad and bougie? What we talking about over here, baby? Your mama ain't in these comments. Again, I'm not meant to be famous. I'm not. My temper ain't set up like that. I'm not. Anyway, I'm not trying to promote anything, but if you are a coffee drinker and you want a little bit more of an elevated like coffee experience, like coffee that offers like an additional helping hand, it has like B vitamins, coffee berry, lion's mane mushroom extract. I'll put a link to it if you ever want to try it. Baby, it's a blessing. I be out here. I be feeling like Beyonce. Like right now, I feel like Beyonce. I'm crushing it today. We're about to do hella content today because I'm like, let's get it out. Let's get it out. So I feel like Baby Billy is one of the greatest characters of all time. Aggressively tanned, aggressively dressed, aggressive drug habit. I'm so entertained by that character. And I really like John Goodman. I tell you what, I really enjoy him. Anywho, hacks, I have to really like parse out because it gives me really bad secondhand embarrassment. And if you are new here, secondhand embarrassment is, it prevents me from a lot. I be like, Lord, how they gonna get out of this one? I have also started watching Baskets, which stars Zach Galifianakis and this woman whose name escapes me, but there is a cartoon on Netflix, I think, and I want to say it's called Carolyn, the End of the World, and this woman has a very monotone voice that I love, and she is actually a character on Baskets. So I was like, shut up. More of her, please. Okay. Damn, I also recently saw her on something else that escapes me, but absolutely love it. I'm also watching Crepopolis, which is animated. Crepopolis is so brilliant. It's talking about like it's one of the first Greek city. Well, is it Greece? It's one of the first civilizations ever formed, and it's like a critique on humanity and how we decide what's important and what's not. It is fantastic. Absolutely love Propopolis. I'm also watching Grimmsburg. They make such specific cultural references and jokes on there. The lead character is voiced by John Hamm, but looks a lot like Nick from New Girl. Like, it looks like a character that he would voice. Anyway, that's mostly what I'm watching, unless I'm forgetting anything. I have not started the latest season of The Last of Us because I'm not in a place where I can handle that right now. We already post-apocalyptic. I'm not ready for that yet, but I will get to it. So that's it for this week's podcast episode. Thank you guys for joining me. Check the links in the video/episode description. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you like what you saw here and you want to help me be able to eventually purchase a Celine 16 bag that will have nothing to do with you, join my Patreon at the link in the episode description and all of the things. Thanks, guys. Bye.